Devon, I want you to think back to this time last year, when a NCAA championship, a national championship were not on your resume. Were they even on your radar?
I think you could say that. I just wanted to come out here, and compete in football and track. And this year I redshirted in football, with some injuries, and then I came out and was able to compete well in track. And NCAA championship wasn't on the radar. I knew I wanted to make the meet, NCAA meet for sure. And I think once I started running well this season, that definitely was something that could happen.
The word whirlwind probably describes the past couple months pretty well from you. If that's from an outsider's perspective, how has life changed for you?
A little bit, just because I've been running pretty fast, so I guess people noticed. But other than that, not too much. I'm still just a regular kid, just doing. Right now we're just doing summer school and football, weightlifting, conditioning, and then running track a little bit, to decide whether or not I'm going to keep running, for a few meets this summer. But other than that, other than people starting to notice, not too much has changed. I've just been really busy.
Hype, attention, accolades, they can change life a little bit, but people try to surround themselves with the right people to keep them humble. Who keeps you in check?
Definitely my friends, all the football team, make sure I don't get a big head. They still kind of, mess around with me all the time. And then the track team too, I just kind of try to stay humble. I don't try to, to me, sometimes I think about it and it's pretty cool to, have an NCAA championship and a US championship, but I'm still the same person. I haven't changed, in the 3 weeks or the 4 weeks since then. I'm still doing the same things I was doing before.
You mentioned your teammates giving you a hard time. What are they saying?
Just like, oh, since you're USA champ, you can just do this, you can do that, Oh, look at this guy walking in here, USA champ or whatever. It's kind of funny, but, it's good, just to have my teammates be able to keep me in check and show that they really, they show support and that they care about me.
A lot of the talk around sports right now with free agency is about decisions.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think that you have a decision to make between track and field, which you've had success in, and football, which you said is your top sport. Do you feel you need to make a decision, and when?
Not as of now. I feel like if there's any decision to be made, it'll still be there next year. I want to be able to go and play well this season, have a good football season, and then run track again next year. Because I enjoy competing, in college. I enjoy traveling with the team. I enjoy hanging out with my teammates. Like I said earlier, we talked. It had to be some absurd, situation to where, the circumstances, come together that, I would go pro in track and field.
You have to take your future into account. You have to be able to look far off. Now, when you look down the line, football, it's a tough sport. Not a lot of guys make it to that professional level, which you've dreamed about your entire life. Track and field, right now, you're competing at a pro level. Has this season in track changed your perspective?
Not really. I think that I'm still competitive in football, just as competitive in football as I am in track. And I think that, another year is not going to change that. Hopefully, like I said, I'm going to have a good football season this year. And then track, I'll just run faster than I did this year, and things will take care of itself.
You said football first. Is track closing the gap?
It's hard to say. I still love football. It was my first love. Growing up, I always played. And track is something that I definitely enjoy and have a passion for, and I care about, just as much. And I think, whatever I'm playing at that time is my favorite sport. So coming up football season, I'm going to focus on football and do whatever I can to help the team, and get to our goal of a national championship. And then when track season comes again, I'm going to, focus on track and do whatever I can to win another men's, title.
During spring football, you talked about whenever you were at football practice, you focused on football. And then when you left and with the track practice, track was 100%. You clearly found a way to balance it and balance it well. What did you take away from going through that day in and day out that you're going to try to apply next year when you do it again?
Yeah, what I took from it is that I definitely can do it. The coaches, the athletic training staff, strength and conditioning coaches all, came together to kind of build a schedule for me to try to keep me healthy, to try to keep me in shape, to try to keep me, so that I could continue to perform high, at a high level in both sports. And, it worked pretty well, I guess this year. So I think definitely it gives me confidence that I can do it again next year.
Both Robert Johnson and Mark Helfrich, your head coaches, have talked about the communication between them and between you. How does that triangle work between the three of you?
I don't really hear too much conversation between them, but I kind of just go. I'm kind of the middleman, and they kind of say, hey, I want you here for this meet, or I want you here for this practice. You know, we'll figure it out. With the coaches will figure it out. Let me know what I'm doing and how I need to go about, you know, training and practice to do that. So I think on my part, I don't have to worry about too much. I'm just kind of told where I need to be and what I need to do, and then I just kind of go have fun and compete.
I imagine the relationship that they have, because they've had guys do football and track before, how, you know, that relationship has worked. That makes it easier on you, the athlete, knowing that you don't have to, you know, tiptoe around the coaches because they get along.
Yeah, definitely. They've done it before. You know, Oregon has a good history with that. And I definitely think that's a big thing in recruiting. You know, when we have some athletes that play football and run track, or play football and play basketball, that they're able to come here, and, you know, the coach can say, hey, we have a couple guys that do it already. They've done well. You know, they've competed at a high level in both. They can do it. You know, you can come here and do the same.
As fall camp approaches, you probably a couple months ago would have been able to go into this fall camp a little bit under the radar. But now that you're running 13, 16 hurdles and winning national championships, now everyone expects a lot out of you. What do you expect out of yourself? I'm
just going to go out there and keep working like I have been, try to get better so I can, you know, live up to the expectation, and just compete for a starting job and do whatever I can to help my team win. And like I said earlier, our team's really good this year. We have, you know, with Marcus back, a lot of key players back this year, and a lot of new guys too. You know, some of the freshmen have been out there, and I've seen them make some plays as well. We're going to have a good team and have a good chance of going for a national title.
Fox Sports called you the #3 freak in college football. Yeah. Do those expectations, is that something you embrace or try to suppress?
I'm not really sure. I try to embrace it, so that means I have to do some freaky things next season during football. So that's just my goal. I want to be able to make plays and give, you know, the crowd, you know, a show, and just do some exciting things. Hopefully that I'll live up to the expectation. At
the wide receiver position, over the past couple of years, it's been Josh Huff. Yeah. Josh graduated. Braylon, who was supposed to be the heir to that throne, is hurt. So now it's Keenan Lowe, and then a lot of question marks. Where do you see yourself fitting in to the competition heading into fall?
I see myself stepping up as a leader, as well as a few other receivers, like Darren Carrington, Chance Allen, BJ Kelly have stepped up in practice. And I feel like we just all need to be able to, you know, compete in practice, like, you know, we're all competing for a starting job, and that's going to make the whole team better. And then once the game comes around, you know, everything will be easy, and there won't be too much pressure on just one person, like you said, Josh Huff and a Braylon Addison. And I feel like all of us as a receiving core be able to make plays and be just as good. You know, you won't lose anything when you sub somebody in. You know, when somebody goes in, you know, it'll be the same tempo, same kind of playmaking ability as it was before.
We're sitting high above Autzen Stadium right now. The last time you were playing a game here, you caught 2 touchdowns in the spring game, and you said that you were nervous before kickoff. You didn't know why. It was a spring game. Are all those nerves gone? Is it just more anxiousness to get out there and play a meaningful football game at Autzen Stadium? No, I'm still going to be nervous. I think first game, if I'm on opening kickoff return, it's going to be pretty nerve-wracking. But I think, like I said last time during the spring game, as the first drive went on, my nerves kind of went away, and I was back to playing football like I usually do. So I think I'll be fine. I'm just more so excited than nervous. And when the season comes up, I think, you know, 30, 40 days when the first game comes, you know, I'll be ready to play and excited to compete and, you know, make some plays and, you know, do well. You mentioned returning. That was something Braylon did very well. Do you see yourself as a favorite to replace him in that area? I say that I could do it if the coaches need me to. I did it in high school. I'll practice, you know, do as best as I can. I feel like I could definitely, you know, be an asset, you know, to the return game. And I think there's a few other guys on the team as well that could do that. So I'm going to compete, you know, for the starting position and everything I do: punt return, kickoff return, running down on kickoff, you know, running down on punt and making a tackle. So I think a lot of my teammates are doing the same, which is going to make the competition, it's going to make everybody better.
and then the best guy's going to play.
Mark Helford said after your spring game that you were starting to play at track speed, but a lot of times people talk about wanting to slow the game down. Do you feel that the game is slowing down for you while you're getting faster?
Definitely. Like I think the redshirt freshman year was good for me. I was able to kind of get the plays down, learn the concept of the offense, kind of get the tempo of college football. And so once the spring game came around, it was kind of just like a regular football game. And I was just able to, come into the spring game in better shape and better health than I was during the season. And I was able to play well and run around, at full speed and play at full speed and make plays. And I think that, as the season progresses, I'm going to be able to do that even faster.
Heading into the first year of the college football playoff, you guys have a Heisman Trophy candidate, a favorite, and Marcus Mariota. Give us a forecast for this season, because you guys are going to be one of the favorites.
Like you said, we have Marcus back, one of the greatest athletes I've ever been around. This is pretty cool to watch him every day. He's a great leader too, so I think he's definitely going to be, our guy that's going to help us, get to where we need to be. And like everybody says, national title is what our goal is. But realistically, top 4 make it to the playoffs, and that's when it actually, when it happens. So top 4 in the NCAA, and then we're going to play, 2 playoff game, and then the championship. So I think that's going to be our goals for this year. And I think we're going to, be able to do that. We have a pretty good schedule with Michigan State. I think our second game, the Pac-12 competition is some of the best in the nation as well. So I think if we can play as well as we can, we'll be prepared for those playoff games in the national championship.
You mentioned Marcus's development and as a leader. How has he grown in the couple years that you've been here, and where do you see him at now in that role?
He's definitely become more vocal as a leader and someone that people look up to. He's gotten a lot bigger, a lot faster, a lot stronger, and you can see that in the weight room. So when you see a guy working that hard, you're just watching him. You're like, okay, I can do that. So a lot of my teammates, including myself, see Marcus working out. We want to do everything that he's doing. Even in conditioning, we want to stay up with him. He's one of the fastest guys on the team. So it's my challenge to stay up with him for every conditioning rep. This
year you added spring game star, NCAA outdoor track and field champion, U.S. track and field champion, 13:16, second fastest time ever by a collegiate athlete. What's Devon Allen got in store for this next year?
Just everything better, I guess. Hopefully I play well enough to, make a name for myself this season in football. Hopefully I play well enough so we can help my team win a national championship. That'd be pretty cool if we can win men's title in track and then a title in football. I have 2 titles in 1 year, 2014, and then come back for track season again and run just as well, and do even better. The national NCAA record is 13:0. And the world record is 12:80. So those are some of my goals for next year in track, and some of my goals in football. Just be able to compete and do well. Score a lot of touchdowns to help my team win.